This time on Stay Tuned, Snowcone Lives. Welcome back to Stay Tuned. I'm Tony Angelo. Today we are jamming on my cheap C5 Corvette project. I picked this thing up about a month ago in pieces, but complete, $6,000 with a good LS1 out of a Camaro. We've got it fired up last week, and this time we're gonna get it ripping down the street. Let's go. So before we dropped in that Camaro LS1, we made 490 horsepower out of this thing with a set of affordable Summit heads and camshaft. And it was top of the carburetor at the dyno, and we just decided, let's stick it in that way. It'll simplify everything. This car was pretty thrashed. The stock computer harness was literally chopped in half with a chainsaw, or maybe like, I don't know, something terrible. So we're not gonna worry about all that right now. We're gonna run it with the carburetor. We've got a bunch of stuff left to do in it. Suspension, brakes have to go back together. Cooling system's got to get set up, and an exhaust had to be made. All right, so last time we ran it off these Hooker Shorty headers and knew we had to make an exhaust. It'd be this long, tedious process. So Barb and Stone already went through and spent about a day and a half making up. So this is a Speed Engineering X pipe. They made these little sub pipes because this is a factory flange. And then come to the back. We had the car came with a Borla exhaust with some spark plugs in it from when I used to shoot fireballs. And they just made these sub pipes to connect everything. So right now we have a full exhaust in there just to get you up to speed. And it's time to start putting on some more fun parts. First thing I'm gonna do is yank the roof off because it's a Corvette and you can do that. And then I'm gonna put the interior back together. Ugh. Here we go. Ugh. All right, how's this work? I think there's buttons. This feels like something that's important. Success. All right, so I wasn't just going to reinstall our stock shifter. It's pretty mangled. It's been hammered on and ham-fisted for 150,000 miles. Stock bushings were coming apart and kind of grizzled. So reached out to TIG and grabbed this sweet piece. This is a TIG Performance C5 shifter. It's nice is that like it replaces the whole thing. It's burlier. It's dialed. It fits right in here. It's got a super cool alignment bracket so I can't screw this up. I may have to pull out and it's just like, a proper billet anodized sweet shifter that I can really hammer on. I'm just worried this alone, this piece of plastic in the back of the stock shifter that supports this rail just made me think that when I get crazy about it and we're just yanking gears that it's going to smash itself into oblivion. So, time for an upgrade. This thing should handle any kind of, wild animal shifts I'm going to attempt to perform here. Let me get this off of here and we'll talk about it. Can I get a 10, please? All right, anytime you do a remote shifter, you have to make sure that it's in neutral. When the trans is in neutral, the shifter is in neutral. TIG makes it super, super easy. They give you this little bracket. It comes pre-installed, so it's holding the shifter in neutral, right? Then there's one little scallop out of this shift shaft that the bolt's going to go through with the clamp and the rod that goes all the way back. So it fits in only exactly one spot. So the transmission's in neutral. We know that. This thing's in neutral. And as long as you bolt it together, then the whole thing is happy in neutral. There's a little bit of wiggle room on the mounts. And once you bolt them down, you're set. I don't have to worry about this anymore. So that's exactly what I just did. And I can take the stuff off of it that's bracing the shifter in neutral. I will go put on the fun parts and we will get rocking. So TIG makes, an old school round knob or more like a road race style big knobber guy here. This is carbon and carbon. Carbon shaft, carbon knob. I'm gonna try this guy out. It actually locks in on the bottom. I mean, it fits all. This is a nice piece. That's gonna work out good. All right, shifter's in. Shouldn't really shift it more than 1,000,000 times without it running. So I think I'm about at my limit. I'm gonna slap this thing back together, make this thing look like a car again. We're gonna get it out there and start working on important stuff.
So I'm putting in a inline fuel filter on this guy. We're hiding it and tucking it in right here underneath the rail for the carburetor. it's quite a snug fit. We got to trim and shave it, but it'll be all right. Make a couple lines and we're ready to rock.
All right, we're taking a quick Corvette break. We are gonna do a little update on the 55. It's pouring outside. We don't want this thing getting all wet. And people have been asking, you know, we jump from project to project here. It's not like we want to, take forever on one or forget about another, but there's a couple cars we want to talk about. One being the 55. This has the NASCAR SB2 proper V8 from Hendrix in it and a G-Force 4-speed. It's like a NASCAR-inspired shoebox build that we're doing. If you're not familiar, and this is a car that I bought, you know, it had been like an 80s, probably the last time it ran, street strip car. It had a bunch of rust in the floors. And, you know, when we put something together, we did get it fired up with the SB2 in it. Let's show that. This has just been like kind of a higher level build for our channel. You know, it took us almost a week to build the headers. It took us another week to get the motor in, and then another one to get it fired up. Is that right, Barb? Is that all correct? Yeah, it sounds like a lot of time now.
Math.
Jeez. And we're jamming. Obviously, I want to get it running and driving down the road. Came with a miserable, you know, awful cage in it and a bunch of metalwork and some rust. So sort of behind the scenes, whenever Stone, who is apparently a sheet metal specialist and a floor pan specialist, has a minute, he's been working on this thing because it came with it came with just enough metal. It actually came with these floor pans. And he's been putting them in here and there. The 3 of them are done, but when you put floor pans in a 55, it's involved. There's an upper brace, there's some lower braces. They have to be pulled apart, skinned apart, put in, and it's coming out awesome. But so that's kind of how we work here. We're a small team. It's just the 3 of us really working on the cars. So, you know, sometimes we got to pull off one project and work on another one. This is turning out wicked. I'm so excited. I mean, this is going to be solid. It will get a cage. It will get some, you know, real seats in it and get wired up. You can still see, you know, once we got it fired up, we jumped right on the next project. But he's been in here just grinding. The wiring is still a disaster. I just had it quickly kind of rigged up to fire up, but the car's gonna be super solid. Tunnel's got to get done. The rear driver's side's got to get finished up. Then we'll do a cage and some seats. But one thing at a time for stay tuned. One other car people are always talking about, which, you know, feels great, even though they're like, where's this car at? Because it means that they're excited about it, is the Aston Martin powered V12 Mustang. Now, I don't know if we made it come off like, oh, this would be like this snap thing, but some of the parts for a 25-year-old British V12 are pretty hard to come by. Yes, it was incredible that QuickTime makes a V12 bell housing to put a T56 on it, which was no problem. But the factory clutch is not a thing you can use. It's like a weird dual mass unit. It costs a fortune, and it wasn't going to work for us anyway. So Center Force teamed up with us to make a full custom clutch flywheel setup, and they're working on that now. And even to get that going, Barb, what do we have to do?
Send everything.
We had to buy a flex plate from
England,
England, have that sent in, then do some measurements on it, see if it was a viable project. Then that got sent out to Center Force. They're working on it now. We have to then give them either one of our extra bell housings or bell housing measurements because they're happy with the flywheel setup now. Now it's about how much clutch I think can they fit in there. So that's rocking. And then you have to figure out what's going to run 12 cylinders with sequential port injection and, you know, hopefully coil on plug for each one. So it's very involved. You know, this isn't our run-of-the-mill slap a carburetor on it and stab a distributor in it. So it's a really cool project. Again, I can tell how well that video is growing in the background because we get comments all the time on it. It's V12, and I even went back to look. I'm like, just seeing how many people were talking about it, I was like, I bet this video is still growing, and it is, which is awesome. I think it's a really fun kind of wild project, something I really wanted to do. I think the Ford Mustang with the Aston, they're all kind of the same company, aligns really well. It should be a really cool setup, but we're working on it. It's going to be a little bit of time. But believe me, Barb's on it, we're on it. Clutch and flywheel, I think, will be here soon. And we have reached out to a couple of different aftermarket ECU manufacturers to see who has something on the shelf that can run 12 cylinders. Because your average computer just sort of can't do that. You know, usually it's 4, 6, and 8. So we're figuring it out. Anyway, back to vet stuff. It's still pouring. We're going to have to squeeze in here. But we'll make it happen. 55's coming. V12's coming. Back on the vet. Last time we put the entire rear subframe in with the front subframe and the torque tube. It's still kind of just sitting in there because we know we're going coilovers. So for coilovers, we're gonna run this Part Shop Max setup. My buddy Tommy Roberts put together for me special, a little bit softer spring, so it'll feel a little bit nicer on the street. These are super nice. This is like dialed in for corrosion. They're dual adjustable. It's an 8K spring and an 18K spring. Like I said, it's a little bit softer, but again, what I'm trying to build here is a car that can do absolutely everything. It'll still be great at the side shows like it was before, apparently, but like drive great on the street, go around a road course, and you know, hit the drag strip too. There it is. Ugh. This thing has spent a lot of time in the field, as you can see. Busted up quarter panel, wrecked. It's definitely been pulled out of a cornfield at least once after a night of partying, but who hasn't? So this is essentially, you'll set the spring tension here, and then the body of the shock will move up and down in the mount. It's really nice. A lot of American stuff I've seen doesn't do this. I think it's a really clever way to do it. That way you can move your ride height up and down without having to change initial spring preload. So we will get it to contact it. I usually put like one turn on it from there. And then just adjust the height this way, which is super nice. With this sway bar bent like this, sway bar is mangled from some kind of tomfoolery, who knows. I think probably from when they were doing a sideshow, they probably hit a couple pedestrians, they went flying, they're on the run from the law, they hide out in a cornfield, they spin it into a cornfield, they get stuck, they're like, how do we get out of here? They call up a felon that they know. Obviously, they're on the run too. They come out with a stolen pickup truck and some kind of strap. They put the strap around the sway bar, yank on it, bend the sway bar. Now it's bent.
Is that the theory?
That's what I think.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I'm only gonna snug up, not tighten these bushings with the suspension in full droop. You wanna do it at ride height. Anything that can twist and is made out of rubber will tear if you tighten it up all the way down and then you jack it all the way up. It's basically tighten up ride height, then it has a little bit of window to move around happy. Or get rid of all suspension, rubber, and just go hard all the time. All right, so coilovers are on. Put on a fresh set of rear brakes, rotors and pads. We actually happen to have some rotors laying around, so we're not spending any dollars on that, which is nice. And we will be jamming. I always try to lube up. Anytime you have a sliding caliper, take 2 seconds and at least wipe them off and put on new lube. If they're stuck, use a torch, pull them out, get the junk off them with some brake clean, and then lube them up. A little floor Scotch Brite.
My favorite.
Don't breathe when you do this. The pads, move on with our lives. That's it. Brakes. Ready to break it up. Broken. Brakes are broken. All right, so in the front, same thing. We're going to be running Part Shop Max coilovers. The front has a helper spring, so you
Fits right in the hole.
Fits right in there, just like this. We're gonna massage that a little bit. Take two.
Oh yeah, look
Fix
at that.
that in editing. Let me get a drill. I'm gonna make a little room here.
All right, in we go with the coilovers. Tony made this hole nice and big now. Nice reverse thread, guys, right? All right, so these are adjustable here. The mounts. I got this one loose. I can put those in and then tighten it up. Okay. Tighten these hogs up. Be good to go.
So this is the new Part Shop Max forged bolt-in knuckle setup. So if you're gonna take the car drifting, it'll allow you to have a ton more steering angle. But what's nice is it has adjustable Ackerman, these little slugs. There's low, medium, and high. Ackerman is where the inside wheel turns more than the outside wheel. It makes like a street car track pretty nicely. As you get into racing situations, especially drifting, more neutral Ackerman or parallel steering is a little bit better. So we're gonna run this on the medium setup. Apparently it's good for street and track and drift stuff. Should work for everything a little bit. You know, I'm excited about it.
You getting fired up?
I'm getting fired up, very excited. I can't wait to drive this car. Look at it. You know, it's kind of a mangled up, ratty Corvette, but it's a
That's kind of what
Corvette.
makes it great, though.
Yeah, I kind of think it's perfect. It's best case scenario for me, because I won't be afraid to push on it pretty hard. Torqued.
We think that's tight?
It's not loose.
Okay, bolt them on. All right, we're ready to put this thing on here. Get the upper arm in place. Let's see what we got. Is this the one for the bottom? Hey, found it.
What do we got? So this steering setup is killer because you used to have to do like either a bolt-on setup or cut your knuckles and re-drill them, all this different stuff. And now I think this pair of knuckles is like 650 bucks, something like that. And you get a setup that'll work for drifting, road racing, anything. And it's a bolt-on forged piece with, it gets rid of the upper ball joint, replaces it with that sweet rod end piece. It's awesome. Pretty fancy. Pretty fancy.
Stuff is really nice. I'm also a sucker for
Plus
nice
it's all pink and gold.
anodized billet stuff. Gets me going.
Sure.
Like the shade is pretty much right there. I hear a lot of falling bolts over there.
He's good. He's good. He's got it. No, you're good. Let's put this in.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to adjust this pivot a little bit here because the car is at quite a different height. That's what I want. There it is.
Easy. There you go.
Wow, these are tight as huh?
Is that the right one?
Nut?
That nut. Is that what came with it? This here.
It was on the workbench.
Yeah, but why would that? They came with nuts, didn't they?
I have no idea.
Put on there. That's the way to do it. It doesn't fit. That's the problem.
It doesn't fit. This one does. This one fits great. Imagine that. It's easier to pull it out. Oh, fuck, my bad. What was that not even from?
The stock ball joint.
Poor guy already screwed up the underside.
That's a my problem thing.
Yeah, look how you get yourself out of
Get your own problems. Yeah,
That's better. That looks to be very close to the same.
okay.
Sort of. Yeah, you probably just got another 16s out of it.
All right, let's go with it. So before we connect the tie rods, we've got the knuckles on there, spindles if you don't live on the East Coast. The front coilovers are on. It's all looking killer. We have a new, fresh clutch master cylinder in there. We're going to bleed that, and I'll center the steering rack. What's nice is the Corvette only goes on the shaft one way, so I know the wheel is right, and we got it back on perfect, so I'll just count it, call it. All right, so Barb can't seem to get the clutch bleeder opened up. I've read somewhere that they could be self-bleeding. Both of the ports, the feed and the bleeder, are pretty much at the top. And our master setup came full of fluid. So I just started pumping away, and it feels very much like a clutch now. Barb can see the clutch fingers moving. So I'm gonna put it in gear and have Stone put pressure on the tire, and if it does fully release, then I'm gonna call it bled. All right? First blood, part Corvette.
Yeah. All right.
Tell me when when it grabs, okay? I've got it open, start spinning. I'm releasing. Yeah, grab. Open there.
Yep.
Grabs. About there.
I can see when the discs are grabbing too.
All right. I mean, I think that's. Yep. All right, we have a clutch. Let's keep moving. I'm gonna go through what's next, but looks like we got a pretty good list going already. No, you don't delete, you don't erase stuff. Then we'll feel like we haven't done anything. See what he just did?
No, the trick is that you write stuff down that's extra that you already did and then cross it out. You
But
can't
never
erase
it.
Jeez.
Yeah. We are full on participation trophy over here, buddy. Cool. All right, I just tightened down the tie rod pickup. We will be using rod end tie rods that came with it. These have some space for bump steer adjustment in them. It looks like by moving these spacers up and down. I'm gonna start right in the middle on them because we haven't set the ride height on this thing, but these will give us nice tight steering feel and be able to have a little bit more articulation in the stalkers. And these are, this little collar is gonna let me, it's not a turnbuckle, so it's not exactly an adjuster, but it's gonna allow me to connect it to the stock tie rod. So I will turn this on, lock this down, and then turn this in as I need to set the toe. All right, the way that it gives you more steering angle is that it shortens the steering arm. This is the knuckle. This little guy is the steering arm. Normally it'd be about out here. So as you can imagine, if you're pushing an inch on this thing here, it moves that far. If you push an inch here, it moves that far. That's how it goes. You used to have to cut them and weld them. It would never be strong or perfect. So this setup, like I said, these are about 650 bucks, and the coilover is about 1,400. It's really great stuff for the money. I think there's a lot of features, and I'm excited to get on track with this thing. You stand back, look down the car, you can see it. That's in the ballpark for sure.
Start putting these brakes on here. I guess I need the rotors first, huh? Probably not a bad idea. Front passenger side. These are some big boys. How big are these things? 13, 14,
I don't know.
18 inches?
11
35. They're huge.
Big dogs.
Big boys.
They are absolutely stock.
It's try this again, shall we? Is it gonna go? There it is. Wow, these really go in here, huh? Okay. Editor's note. I'm just a dum-dum.
Go on.
Keep going. We're listening.
There it is.
You there? You hear him, editor guy?
What was the note?
I'm just a dum-dum.
Dumb.
He's just being a silly goose.
Silly goose.
Yeah. You'll have that on these big jobs sometimes.
Couple of silly goose. We're running these Power Stop track day pads. We bought them just online because mostly the name, but it's supposed to have high initial grip, which is really good for handbrake stuff, drifting. Drifting doesn't put a ton of heat over time into brakes, so you don't need crazy fade resistance, but you do want high initial grip, which is also good for the street, but they're supposed to have some fade resistance, so it's supposed to be a good pad. I have no idea.
We're
let you
gonna
know.
find out.
Yeah.
So watch my new boots.
Oh, sorry. New boot goofing over here?
Boot goof.
Let me go in the back.
Sounds like there is a stone afoot.
Mm-hmm. You know when he's coming. Cause you're the.
I figured we should show his daily. What do you got here, Stone? Well, the coffee, yes. We know that part. That part's good.
That's focused.
This is Stone's daily sport truck. It's wicked. It's like, actually was a concept that you kind of like, that they took to actually make or something.
Yeah, so it's like a what-if truck. They never actually made it with a 6.0 and a short bed single cab. So this one has a 6.0 now. Started out as a 4.8 liter 5-speed manual and 6.0 both right in place. So
Yeah.
might as well put a big cam in it too.
It's got a big cam, it's manual. It's got exhaust sticking out the side, the inside's clean.
Yeah, it does everything you want it to.
It's awesome.
I didn't know it was made.
Isn't that cool? Do everything but sneak up on somebody in this thing.
Yep.
We're gonna push these guys in.
Give a tool for that.
We do indeed. Did you just squeeze it? Yeah?
Well, it makes a little mess. It's fine.
Did you get them in? Yeah. Don't everybody answer me at once.
Yeah, they're in there, dog.
Thank you. You crushed the seals.
I mean, the seals got crushed.
Okay.
No, just take a thing and run them, you know. Oh, they're painted.
They're-
That's they're not,
Oh yeah, look at that.
they're cracking because of this wicked paint job.
Oh, well if it's paint, let me clean those things.
Oh boy, look. If you're gonna paint your calipers, make sure you get the seals. Make sure everything matches. Do
I thought
right.
it was just dried out and I was wrong.
Nice pizza crust.
Crust,
Yeah.
Toretta's crust.
They didn't. Old PBRs, baby.
That trash can looks like my dorm room.
Oh boy.
I had bad allergies that year. That's what I mean.
Yeah. That's what it was. Real bad.
Yeah.
Stone. Real bad. Okay, there it is. Okay.
I think I have an idea for Barb's first tattoo. I don't feel like you're a mom heart guy really, or like a boxing gloves, but I feel like, right? You did like maybe start with the tear tattoo. You got that thing, right? Maybe right.
I got one.
It's got a good look. It's a good look.
All I hear, go get the money. So I go get.
Go with it.
Not like the.
Barb.
That's it.
Just murk somebody.
Just outline it.
In the hood. We've got our front suspension on there. I'm excited. We're now going to drop it on the new wheels and tires that we've got dialed in. I'm going to do just a little bit of weasel grease over here. We're gonna run a 25 mil front spacer just to give us enough clearance for that steering angle in the front. We're gonna run a new rocket wheel, which is, you know, everybody thinks rocket wheels are the old school stuff that we run on the Firebird. It's the old 2-piece guys, but these are sick. I'm excited. Excited. Gonna wheel them out, Barb. Give them the specs. All right, these are the new Rocket Flare wheels. We're gonna run 18 9s all around.
10s in the back.
10s in the back, that's what I said. Wrap them in Falcon FK510s, 255s in the front, 265s in the back, and these should be pretty sick. I mostly talked to Matt Field about what he runs on his demo car. He's a Formula Drift champion who drives a Corvette that is incredibly wicked. And he gave us the specs on what he does on his quote-unquote fun car, which is still pretty rowdy.
There.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a healthy poke right there.
they're in there, all right.
That is a healthy poke.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
New wheels and tires are on there. They are in fact 1810, 18.9, 265 Falcon 510s, 255 Falcons. Pretty square setup because the car has so much grip and good balance. So apparently that's how you like to drive them. Everybody lined up? We're gonna lower it down now under its own weight on these wood blocks we have and then get an idea about ride height and front alignment. Just roughing it in. All right, so we've got our first look at it. Wheels and tires are very cool. I'm stoked on them. I think we got a little aggressive with the poke in the front. We're gonna pull our front spacers off, see how much clearance we have, with that steering lock. The back is gonna be the big issue. We will go back and set the front height a little bit lower and set the toe. But right now, my big concern is this back wheel. We did know that obviously it's smacked here, smacked here. Is it bent? And just sitting with the wheel on it, it's pushed way back. So I'm gonna start looking for bent components right now and see maybe with a little bit of measurements how bad we are. And if there's anything we can do to align it out, just start making adjustments. But it's not looking awesome just yet. So maybe it's just the lower arm that got whacked or it's the spindle, but we're gonna dig in and have a look. How much space there is here? There? Yeah, so the wheel has moved way far back in the wheel well. Again, bought this thing kind of, unknown history from a dude who was like rebuilding it. It's clearly been smashed in the back. Hopefully the frame's not bent. That's our worst case scenario. Maybe it's just a spindle or a couple of arms. We're gonna figure it out and start doing some measurements and see just how bad it is. Cool, so just ballparking it. Call it 16 and an eighth to the wheel well. About 15 and an eighth here. It's about an inch. That's a big deal. All right, so the wheel is an inch off on the one side. So we're gonna start measuring point to point on the frame. I'm just gonna go right from the subframe mount here.
Okay.
You wanna go that cross? Give me a number.
I call it 95.
95, all right, going this way.
It's about 95.
Ooh, that's
Yep.
good. I like
So,
that.
Front
Good
looks
start.
okay.
This is one of those times when a half inch makes a big difference.
All right, it's like 33 and a half. That other one was 33 and a half. Yeah, it's basically the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Call it 96 and a quarter. Yep, that's perfect. So that's good. So maybe we just got some bent arms, we're thinking here. What are we feeling like? Let's look for some damage. I mean, the toe is super out of whack, so we could fix that first and start from there. Because essentially, this can move the wheel forward and back. That's like, and then you can do the toe with that.
Yeah, there's only so many things it can be.
Now let's bring it down and pull the wheel off of it again. So we do have one main adjustment on the lower suspension here, and you can see It's the front of the lower arm. I'm going to pull it in. It's going to pull this all forward, and then we can set the toe with just the tie rod itself. So I'm going this way with it.
Yep.
Start about there.
I think that RE is probably gonna help us a lot.
I moved it so we're gonna know.
Yeah.
You could have gotten hit and just
Knocked it out.
knocked it out.
Okay.
And there's more to go. It's in the ballpark now. Pull that other wheel off, please. And we'll just try to aim them up. This car is going to get a proper four-wheel alignment. We're not too far from Phoenix Racing. They're like a, road race Corvette shop that does in wildness. So we're just going to try to get it, make sure that nothing's wrecked. So then we bring it to them, at least they can get a line. But my concern is that the frame was wrecked. I'm worried about it. Obviously, one of the pins on the subframe when it went up was kind of wonky. It looked like from the, whatever impact there was, but it might have just smashed this wheel, probably wrecked the wheel that was on there, and pulled that adjuster out, because so far I do not see a smoking gun. What else is nice is that, for whatever reason, Corvettes have the same spindle in the front and the back, and since we swapped the fronts out, we have spares. We can swap those on too. There's a little wiggle there, but call that to the center, 15 1/8. 15 1/2. So we're halfway there.
That's pretty damn close.
So it's much closer. Well, what I think we should do now is just to get it square, we'll just measure off the lower ball joint forward.
Gotcha.
And then make them the same.
Yeah.
And then set our toe in the back and be close enough.
She's a runner.
It's perfect.
Nice.
Nice. All right, good deal. Let's tighten it up for real.
Basis averted.
We'll see. We'll see. This is all the adjustment we have, so I'm not in love with it, but okay. Good?
Yeah.
We're going to put the back down on the ground again, set the toe, tighten up the rest of the suspension. That's done. Front, we pulled the spacers off. We're going to lower it another 3/4 of an inch or so on the coilovers, lower it so it's level, and then lock that down to the front toe, and then we're done for now. We will take it to get dialed in later, but that should be at least,
Enough to get us on the road.
get us on the road. Front street, all-purpose
To the
testing.
streets. Where she belongs.
Yeah, that feels good. All right, cool.
We had to add some cinematic drama somehow,
Oh, I was not thrilled about it. That was a real, we're going to lose the shop moment. I was like, if we don't get this wheel in there, we're going to lose the shop. This frame is bent. We're never going to be able to pay our rent. Frame's bent, can't pay your rent. That's how it goes. Lose the shop. So we're going to set this thing up. Again, just getting it close. Good enough for the governments that we date, or can't see it from my government's house or something. And it's just a couple toe plates. You know what you're doing here?
No, I do not.
Okay, so this is a toe plate. We'll all learn. Here's the toe plate. It's just a nice flat sheet of aluminum. Usually there's 2 tapes, but I lost one. You put it down, center it on the wheel, make sure it's flush against the tire. It's plenty good to go 200 miles an hour. And then I will slide this to you. You're just gonna hook it in. I'll say like forward bottom.
Okay.
That's not like a nickname or anything. I'm just stick it in that slot. And then we're gonna aim for about an 1/8 inch of toe in. You good?
Yep. Yep, she's locked.
Okay, I'm looking at about 73 5/8. Let go. One thing you do have to do when you're using these, ideally you would start with like a full 4-wheel alignment and then just do adjustments here, because you could be out of phase, like they could both be pointed that way or this way, and it will read okay. What is that? 74 1/4. No, just a hair over. All right, come back. Let's try the front again. I forgot already what it is. Somebody at home remind me. 74 1/4. And then we'd want the front to be like 74 1/8.
Go for it.
It's not even close. It is closer to 3/4 of an inch in. So that's too much. Let go there. We know this thing's been waxed, so it's not surprising. We're gonna eyeball it. We're gonna bounce a little bit, try to settle it. Just rock it.
That was a
God.
bounce.
Should probably roll it back and forth, but we're not doing that.
That was a good bounce.
All that settled.
Good bounce.
Okay. We are at about 3/8 toe in. It's a little hot. It'll be fine. That's fine. You're gonna ride like that. Dial it in later. She's gonna go straight off of that. All right, so the back we're gonna call done. And we're gonna lower the front, set the front toe, probably add some camber. Call the front done. Hey, there she is, Miss America. All right, it's pizza time. Barb went home, came back with a pizza, so best case scenario there, really. As we said before, stay tuned. Pizza team with a racing problem. Shirt's available now. Man, that's good.
Regular guy? Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Oh, yeah.
It's very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Even better.
We're gonna dig in. People have asked if you want to support the channel. We have our membership thing, which jams. We do a little behind-the-scenes video here and there, and you can watch the main video a little bit early if you want. You can join the Pizza Squad. Super cool. If not, just watch the videos, like and subscribe. That's super awesome too. There's no pressure at all. And if you want to buy us a pie, which other people have asked how to do that, there's a link in the description, and we'll put it up on the thing here. Either way, just doing our own thing on YouTube has been amazing. We super appreciate everybody that's watching, and we are going to dig into some pizza now and hopefully be out in the streets in this thing soon enough. That is good. Wow. These pies were sported to us by Harry Gestrich and the Boulevard Concrete Corporation, which is a pretty tough name. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to stuff as much pizza in the Stone's face as I can. It's looking a little bit too trim, and we're going to be rocking and rolling here in a minute. I got some wings too.
Solid.
Pizza muscles.
All right, pizza muscles. Let's go. All right, and we remembered that it's Mike Kuntz's birthday, filmmaker extraordinaire. So I got him a piece of cake. Okay, hold on.
Oh, it smells.
Yeah, yeah. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mike Kuntz. Yeah. Happy birthday. I'm gonna just let go and you blow it out. 1, 2, 3, go. Nice! That was awesome.
10, 10. Happy
Sick.
birthday.
Happy birthday, bud.
Woo!
There's your,
Check this
Reeks.
there's your burnt hot dog.
Love this.
This is gonna be good.
Sweet.
That's really good. Chocolate covered pretzel.
Good.
I
Smart.
feel like I'm
You try
so
that bite.
tall, I'm pointing up so
Yeah,
much.
back up.
Yeah, there you go.
I swear, every time I put these on, they get lighter.
That's what I'm thinking too, totally. That's definitely it.
You're like, my neck feels better.
Definitely it. That's definitely it. Like I think I just unpinched the nerve in my neck with this. Go on this time?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Debarbed it.
Crushed it.
This thing's definitely on
Right,
the way.
now we're in business. Got a little camber, a little more low. This is gonna be perfect. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty good. Front will, settle. She's gonna settle.
A little bit.
Gonna settle just a bit.
Nice.
Anything? Oh yeah. What a cool car!
Cool car, cool
Good
color,
car. Good car.
cool carb.
All right, you want to grab toe stuff?
Yes, sir.
13 and 19, I think.
Three.
All right, so the car is down. We're gonna call that low enough. It's probably gonna settle a little bit, so I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. We had a little bit of camber to the front without trying to change the caster. Looks awesome. Now we just have to set the front toe to about 0, and this thing will be aligned. Good enough. Aligned-ish. That's what we're going to call it. It'll be aligned-ish.
All right, you got that. Go to the bottom slot.
Yep. Bottom slot locked.
Okay. 75 on the nose.
Locked.
75 and an eighth.
Okay. Bringing this a hair out, we'll be in business. It's close. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that's close enough to get down the road, but let's go a little better.
Eighth off. Yeah.
All right, that's a little bit of nothing. Get that sorted right out. All right, so I'll lock this the way it is. And then measure it up.
Turn it up.
Yep.
Sure. 75 and a 16th.
Out front?
Yeah.
That sounds like a
Probably
good
gonna be-
number.
Actually, 75 and a 16th in the back too.
It's gonna
There
be,
it is.
Nice.
16th.
that'll do.
Nailed it.
All right.
Solid work. Was that a 8 10?
No, I want to get tighten just one thing. Just about. She's done. We're all dialed. This thing is aligned-ish. It's aligned-ish. Sweet. All right. She's aligned-ish. It's not going anywhere. Love it. Ah! All right, we've got the car down and aligned. Now we're going to talk about the #1 danger to race cars. As you know, the #1 danger to your race car is me driving it. But the #2 danger is heat. Okay, and that's what we're here to deal with today.
You know it.
I know. Anyway, if you're on track, you're hammering on the car any extended period of time, heat just goes up and up and up, and if stuff gets too hot, it explodes. So we are going to put in a pretty serious oil cooler and radiator setup so that hopefully nothing is going to ruin our track time. And it'll be totally bulletproof. Forever.
Bulletproof?
Forever.
Forever and ever.
The setup we're going to run is we've got a pretty sick improved racing big boy oil cooler setup just for the C5. I've actually had these lines on the shelf forever. I've been planning this project for a minute. And a DeWitt big aluminum radiator. So we're going to try to figure out how to integrate those two things together, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. This kit is really cool because it's made to bolt right in place here. We don't have any of the factory ducting. There's like 20 different plastic pieces. C5 has a lay down radiator, and then there's all this ducting that needs to go through. We're going to deal with that later. Right now, we just want to get the oil cooler and the radiator bolted into the car. Just feel like I'm going to stand over your legs here. So it feels like this is a Billy Joel video or something. What's happening? There you go.
Do that.
Barb's gonna come out snapping his fingers and singing doo-wop. I'm ready.
Do-wop, do-wop, wop, wop.
Now, you know, I'll just get off to the side here.
Land up
You
there.
dial. So this just clamps around that radiator
tight
support tube. It already looks good. If
Now
you
we
trim this
side
out,
this.
it'll lay right across.
That's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice.
So we can move it around.
If you have a stock C5, there are these little sub pipes that are going to let your oil coolers get around the outside of your radiator with those lines, and you'll be able to run it up next to it. But I believe since we're not running any of the ABS plastic stuff, we'll be able to just slide it down and use it how we want to use it.
How you say, live our lives?
What are you talking about? A quarter mile at a time? That's how I live my life.
Not this car, boy. It
Or
would
more
do
like
it,
one
but-
turn at a
One
time.
set of tires at a time.
All right. You want to snug it up at all, or just leave it as it is?
Now you look pretty snuggly.
I am very snuggly. Right
I think let's leave it.
You always say that when you straddle a guy.
Yeah. Like snuggle
Oh, snuggle time.
Snuggle it up. All right, coming in with the radiator. Lowering this down.
Hang on, you're caught on whatever that is here.
All right, so we're just gonna run, obviously, the factory hose, just to give us an idea where it sits. Here, hold on, the bottom's scooting out the way.
Radiator hoses just were off the shelf.
Well, when you do an LS swap into a Corvette, sometimes you get lucky.
I mean, when you put a stock motor, factory motor back in the Corvette.
Yeah, that's the joke, man.
I know.
That's why I said a joke to people.
Joke things.
Because it's for them.
The Camaro motor.
Yeah. So the LS1
Big.
Camaro swap into a different chassis.
Let it go for a bit.
All right, before we start digging too far into the oil cooler system, we're going to make sure that we have the radiator figured out and dialed. Like I said, we don't have any of the upper mounts. We don't have any of the factory plastic. So we're going to just make a bunch of stuff and make it work. We are done spending dollars on this Corvette, and we want to get it rocking. So we'll just kind of DIY the rest of it.
Sounds like a sound effect.
Hang on.
It's only slightly terrifying. Here we go. Got it?
I can't watch.
Hey! I'm just going to pre-call 911.
I like these direct to editor editors.
Whoa, mama.
Boy. You a shot of whiskey, Barb.
I have 3 dudes watching over.
I'm just going to call the ER.
I don't like how close my fingers are.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. No. What's the wait time like?
You ever see that movie where you get arrested for a crime you didn't commit yet?
Yeah, this is it. It's me pre-calling. Yeah, I just want to know what the wait time's like at the ER. Okay. You guys got lots of
You already
stitches.
been-
You got a lot. You got how many stitches you got on? A lot? Okay, great.
Always go towards your body.
Yeah. Barb, what's your blood type?
You gotta go like this. Towards you. Pick it up. Yep.
All right, we have run out of raw materials and what do you call that?
Stamina.
Stamina, that's the one. We are going to wrap it up here. Long day tomorrow. This thing will be jamming down the streets. I feel really good. It's come a long way already. Suspension's on, aligned pretty much, dialed, ride height. The brakes are all together. Radiator and intercooler. Not yet, not intercooler. The radiator and oil cooler are sitting in there. It's going to be a bunch of connections, some wiring, and take this thing down the road. I'm very excited. This thing has such presence already. I just like, look at it. That thing has got some attitude on her. It's good. We are back on Project Snowcone. We are going to get the brakes working right now. Then it's a little bit more cooling, some wiring, and then we're going to try to beat the rain and get this thing ripping down the Pennsylvania streets. I cannot wait. Brake bleeding didn't start off perfectly because we had one of the lines switched, but I think we're getting somewhere now. Right? It's a team effort. Oop, full-on team effort. Barb's got the cushy job.
That's right.
So handbrake's working. What's the story?
Is this what it feels like to be a race car driver?
It's part of it. Is it moving far? Feel like squishy or does it feel strong?
No, it feels strong. It's like,
So if you put a little foot brake into it, it should rock right. Like you should be able to move it, right?
it feels the same,
Okay.
whether it's on the brakes or not.
I'll check it out.
You want to bleed a couple?
Yeah, we're not fully bled yet. We found a couple pockets of air. One issue with the master not exactly doing anything, but now I think we're in business.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been through the fronts, the backs are going. Just keep going.
Alrighty. You want to pull that e-brake, Barb?
Yep.
So you have all the bubbles
Holding.
out the back, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Holding. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that shot some.
All right, holding. Close.
I hopped in the vet to see how the handbrake feels. It shouldn't feel like that. It's under crazy pressure. We thought we had the lines wrong and swapped them. And I think we have them wrong again. There's not like a third way to put them in, but we're gonna figure this out. So the way that works is it goes from the master into a union in the front. You take the ABS block out and put fittings, union fittings and T fittings in. Then it's gonna run into this master cylinder, then it's gonna run back to the front, which is where it gets kind of confusing because they both go to the same place, into a T and then into the back brakes. And what's nice is the foot brake with this thing just sitting here should work as normal. Just kind of goes right through it. And then when it's party mode and you grab this thing, it will add just rear brake pressure. But right now it's just stuck on because I think it's not going the correct way. So it's just sitting, all that pressure is sitting in the master cylinder from going in through the outdoor, which is a mediocre Zeppelin album. It's pretty good. Not the best. And after, like, you know, Zeppelin 4 kind of, for me, kind of goes a little bit too weird, but all good stuff. There you go. This is some Norton. All right, I'm gonna get this figured out and we'll try again. All right, so we have now, third time, swap these in and outs on the handbrake. We're gonna bleed it again. Is that filled up? Yep. Okay, you ready? Yeah. We're just gonna do the foot, down. Up. Down. Oh, that's the clutch there. Down. Down. It's down. Up. Down. Down. Up. Down. Yeah, that's what it should do. Okay. Open it. Yeah, cool. All right, the interior is exploded, but we got it working right. It seems like you have to make sure that the piston in the handbrake master goes back far enough to open the ports back up to let the foot break through, or it'll kind of lock up. But right now, it's dialed. It feels really good. We're rocking and rolling. Slap this back together, move on to the next thing. Let's go! All right, it's time to do this big oil cooler upgrade from Improved Racing. Big old nasty oil cooler core. It's gonna keep this thing cool while I am just dancing on the gas pedal and the brakes and the steering and absolutely everything. So Stone they come to the pre-made lines, which is cool. Stone's got them squirreled up in here. They go in, the LS has an in and out port that's blocked on most of the motors, including this Corvette one. That's where it's gonna get oil and return it. The oil filter doesn't move. I'm gonna work on putting that sort of like adapter plate in, and you can work on getting these things plumbed up to the filter.
She's a tight fit for sure.
Yeah. It's Corvette. There's no room for anything. It came in, there's no room for anything. It's good. It's all that fun packed into a little package. Just like Barb. So these ports come out the side of the oil pan here. It's gonna be an in and an out. It's just blocked off right now with a temp sender. So we're gonna get rid of this whole little unit, bolt in this Improved Racing piece, and it will allow us to have oil flow without having to move the filter, which is nice. And there's an 8th MBT port here that actually you can either plug up, you could do oil pressure from it, you could probably feed a turbocharger from it if you had to, or they send you a sensor that will give you the same reading here, and you can plug it right in your factory harness and get that oil temp reading again. So, pretty well thought out piece. So our factory bar, from either getting wrecked when the wheel got wrecked, or either maybe being hooked on it by a tow truck when they got dragged out of whatever field they wound up in, was super bent, and it was the base C5 rear bar, the thinnest bar they have. I reached out to my buddy Kurt. He's over at Phoenix Racing, a shop not too far away that does a lot of Corvette road race stuff. They've taken apart 55 of these things. He had a Z06 bar for the C5, the stiffest rear bar they make, hanging around. He sold this to me with a set of metal end links, which are stock, but upgraded from our floppy rubber ones for 50 bucks for the whole set. So we will take it. So now we're gonna bolt it in. The clamshell should be the same, but we're gonna have to use the bigger bushings.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we'll drop. This is how small the stock bar was. This little dingus. You can see how much gnarlier it is. Let's do it. Let's do that. Serious. All right, we've wrapped this up. Barb is working on radiator mounts, then it's a little bit of wiring, a gas pedal, which is obviously super important. We're gonna take this thing out and see what it can do. We'll take it from here. We got it. Cool, all right, we're bringing the Corvette down onto the wheels for the first time, basically, since we've had it. We've got lots of wood down here. It's too low for the lift. That's how you want it. Now I'm gonna tighten up the sway bar while it's down. It looks, even on a 4x4, it is waist height. That is absolute, yes. Good. All right, it looks very low. It looks very low. It looks very low. Do you want to put her in neutral? We'll give her a shove.
This arm is still stuck here.
Oh, it's still up on the lift. In the front? So we're gonna get this thing on the ground, spend a minute going, man, that's low. And then we will get back to work. Barb is gonna work on the radiator mounts. I'm gonna wire up the rest of the charging system, try to get it to start, and Stone is gonna get us a gas pedal. And then I think that's about the last 3 things on the list. All right, put her down. I got her. I got it.
Thank God we got muscles.
That was exciting. That's how you settle it. That's how you make sure it's settled. Wow, it's low. I got it. No sweat. You could drive it under the 55 Chevy.
Pretty much.
The roof of the Corvette is in line with the tail light of the 55 Chevy. These are different kinds of cars. We've got the radiator in. Stone is going to put in this wicked cool throttle pedal setup we actually picked up from small LP Racing. I'm going to start wiring the rest of it up. I have been knee deep in diagrams and cut wires and body control modules, but I think I've got it sorted out. All we really have to get is the starter to work. Fuel pump's got to get rocking. We need the fans to work. I'm going to hopefully use the factory relays for that, and wiring harness, and then we just need ignition power. This thing will be rocking. So I am gonna jump in here. Barb's gonna give me a hand, and
I think I'm gonna actually just take a nap.
he's gonna take a nap. Listen, I get it to, this is all I'm looking at. Trying to give myself some motivation. If I get it to crank, we're gonna order some dinner, right? If we get the fans to work, I'm gonna have a coffee. We get the thing to fire up. I'll throw some whiskey in it. Let's go. Maybe. Here we go.
All right, so I'm installing this beautiful new pedal that we got here. So it's quite a cram, but it bolts right into the factory place so that we can put a cable on here instead of just your regular drive-by wire. So we're gonna kick it old school.
See what you did there.
Oh, kick it with our feet. I get it.
See?
This guy.
Look at that. Okay, yep.
Cool. All right, we are getting close to wiring completion. We're gonna run everything kind of old school. We just need a fan switch. I figured out how to trigger the fans off the Factory relay's in high mode. We're gonna stick a fan switch right here. So the idea is this. Take one plate, make a little hole in it. Barb's gonna drill right through that, and it's gonna go right, we're gonna put, drill and tap this sucker, but the idea is to not get any shavings in it. So it's gonna be a suck and blow. It's gonna be a push and pull. We're gonna blast air in here and vacuum the top at the same time. Barb's gonna drill, I'll do one of them.
Here we go.
I'll do the suck, I'll do the, yep. Got it, hit it. All right. Close your eyes. Hard. Ready?
Yep. Don't do it yet. Don't get started.
Here's the air probably.
Just about.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right.
All right, we've been jamming away here. Barb's got the cooling system pretty much dialed in. Stone gave us a gas pedal that I haven't touched yet, but feels pretty good. Nice and strong. I've been messing with the wiring. The fans are dialed in entirely, and when I turn the key, it cranks. It's got to do fuel pump, ignition power, and excite the alternator, and everything else in here. And this thing will fire right up. We are getting going. What is it? 11:30 at night or something?
Yeah.
It's pretty late. All right, here we go. All right, we just turned off living after midnight. We are literally living after midnight. It's time to fire this thing up. We did a bunch of wiring. Radiator setup's looking killer. It's got a throttle pedal. Let's see what it does. Should be a turnkey affair. Oh, it sounds killer. Want to see? It moves. That is awesome. All right. Oh, we're gonna pass out. Come back tomorrow, see what the wire looks like, and try to hit the road in this thing. Project Snowcone. Getting there. It sounds pretty wicked. All right, we have been in early this morning. We slapped the rest of the wiring together. I think Project Snowcone's about ready to hit the street for the first time. Gave it a quick wipe down. It is looking absolutely radical. It's like perfectly redneck with that big old velocity stack up the top. But also kind of like, Midwestern fancy down here because it's a C5 Vet. All right, there's one last thing I have to do before we take the sucker out. While you're here. Boom, Corvette ready. What's that? Yeah, it's one of 31 with the turquoise blue plus the automatic, and I got the double handbrake. It's one of 31. No big deal. Boom. You know what I need? One of those little crying kids that stand next to my car. One of those little weirdo dolls for the car show. Boom. Corvette stuff.
Let's go.
Corvette stuff. Let's go. All right. I'm gonna pull this thing out and see what it can do. Sweet. All right, it's time to hit the streets. No man left behind, so Barb's gonna jump in this spacious trunk. I'm gonna start, okay. Attaboy, you got it. It's a tornado watch. We're gonna have some fun. If we all get flooded out, we'll do it together. Get in. All right, here we go. I'm pulling it out.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. Alright, so everything is brand new in this thing. Tons of new parts, rotors, pads. Got that Mantic USA clutch, so I'm going to take it easy for a little bit and just try to put some shifts on it while we cruise around. We got a tornado warning here, tornado watch in Pennsylvania. We're going to see how it goes. But Project Snowcone is out on the road. Oh, fresh Falcon tires too, so trying to get a little feel of everything. The car feels killer. We made it to the gas station, which is always test one. A lot of wind, there's some tree branches and stuff down from last night, but I can't not drive this thing. I think I'll take 2 seconds here and tell you the story of the name Project Snowcone. So I have 3 daughters, twin 5-year-olds. One of them loves Corvettes and always has, but she likes to name every car. And when I told her, she hasn't seen it yet, maybe next time we'll get her out here in it. But if you recall, we had the supercharged Benz, the E55 AMG. They loved that thing. And when I sold it to Derek, they got real bent out of shape because that thing is stout and it could fit all of them in it, and they were not so thrilled. Why don't you like that I sold Sherbert? What kind of cars do you like?
Like the fastest car. And that was the only one who was fast.
You only like the fastest cars and she's the only one that's fastest?
No, Cream is fast too.
Cream is fast too. Cream is the Power Crowd 911. So Sherbert, the Mercedes got sold.
No.
And you
Remember that gold car? That gold car next to Cream. We need to give him a name. Who Cream is.
They call the E55 Sherbert. And they were real fond of it. So when I told them we're getting a Corvette, that was the only car that would have been an acceptable substitute. So I'm pumped. And then my girl Cece hasn't seen it yet, but she said, "What color is it?" I said, "It's blue." She said, "We're calling it Snowcone." So that's the story of Snowcone. Project Snowcone, named by my 5-year-old. It's a perfect name. Snowcones are blue. This thing is icy cold. I love it. It's sweet. So I think we'll just keep rocking a couple more. It's going in every gear. You can feel it, man. It is. Woo, boy, this thing turns. How you doing back there, Barb?
Just great.
It's good. Barb's good.
3rd row seating.
I don't need my spleen.
Yeah.
Sounds so nasty, dude. Why are Corvettes the best?
This is pretty awesome. It's so easy to be like, oh, it's a dumb dad car. It's awesome.
It's awesome. We're dumb dads.
Yeah, we're dumb dads. We love it. Target demographic, me.
Oh yeah.
Well, that works.
Yeah. Imagine that. We only spent like 9 hours bleeding
I
it.
know, man. That might be like the best one I've ever felt.
Yeah? Okay. Let's go.
Be a Corvette guy.
You could be both.
Whatever. I feel like that's 2 different guys, but I'll take it.
It's 2 different jackets.
That's fair.
Yep.
suspension felt in the beginning. It's not that bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
Maybe they're onto something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those Park Shop Maxes have an idea what's going on. It doesn't feel bad.
Feels very tight too, steering wise. Just
Everything
from here.
feels wicked. It's 25 years old.
It's crazy. That's crazy to
Feels
think
fantastic.
Are you talking about the car or me?
about. Oh,
Stone's 25 years old. He feels fantastic. All right, Project Snowcone's first rip down the street. Incredible success. This thing is so cool. Corvettes are so good. It handles great. It pulls like a freight train. It sounds insane. You know, I'm not 100% sold on the carburetor for like road race driving, but this thing is wicked. That is it for this episode. This has been, I'm so stoked on this car. Satin is really warm. It's warmer than you think it's gonna be. I'm having a blast. This thing has turned into something so special and awesome in 2 long weeks of work. Such a good car. I'm very pumped. Next time we're gonna keep on thrashing on it, turn it into the track monster it's supposed to be, and you know, definitely get some more street miles in it too. But I wanna see how fast it really is. I wanna see what it can do on a road course. It's such a good little car. All right, and I still gotta break the clutch in more. So I'm gonna take it a little bit easy, but I figure I can pull the handbrake a couple times. Let's have some fun. All right, we'll see you guys next time. This time on Stay Tuned, Snowcone Lives. Never mind. Snowcone lived. Or, I don't know, Snowcone lived. The clutch just went to the floor. We'll figure it out. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Give me a push, Stone.